So we have different shapes of bacterial cell here. So by the name, you know, coccus stands for circular. So this is the petri dish which I was talking about. And bacillus or the rod-shaped bacteria, and curved bacteria are called spirillum. And you have some type of bacteria called pleomorphic. This is a new word you have to understand. Pleo stands for various or different. Morphic structures. A bacteria can exist in different structures, in different shapes. Such bacteria also exist. So basically you will have coccus, singulars all are used, bacillus, and curved shaped. Okay. Then there is a list of bacterial names which you have to get familiar with. That's why I took this image. See, comma-shaped bacteria, Vibrio cholerae, which causes cholera. Okay, Vibrio cholerae. Then spherical shaped. Just now I told coccus is the singular and cocci is the plural. Something looks like this. They are Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. I hope you know about the Streptococcus bacteria. The throat infection causing bacteria is the Streptococcus bacteria. Okay. So get familiar with the terms. Vibrio cholerae, bacteria name. Shape is comma shaped. Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, bacteria names. They are of spherical shape. The coccus stands for spherical. Okay. Then you are having two more different shapes other than comma shaped and spherical shaped. You are having rod shaped bacteria, which we call as bacilli. Plural. If it is singular, bacillus. Best example, E. coli and salmonella. Both are bacteria names. So in the example column, you are having bacteria names. Okay. Then spiral shaped bacteria. The bacteria will be like this. So example, Treponema borrelia. Why I choose these images is there are few questions related to identify bacteria from the given examples. They will be giving choices, the bacteria name like Streptococcus, E. coli, Vibrio cholera, Treponema, like that. So you should be familiar with a few bacteria names. That's why I gave all this. A question can be asked, prokaryotic organisms from the below. They may give a list of organisms like E. coli, then Vibrio cholera, then some plant name, some animal name. Among them, obviously, bacteria will be prokaryotes. So this examples would be helpful in that. This is the example of different cell in animals. Okay. Now we come to concept of cell shape. Can you see the slide on the screen? The RBC cell, the nerve cell, and some of the cartilage and muscle cells. Now here I just want to explain a point. See, when you take shape of cells, the shape of cells within the same organism may vary. Best example, if you take the red blood cells, they're usually in biconcave shape. Okay. And when you take the nerve cell, we already discussed this, there will be branch structures like this. And cartilage or muscle cells, they will be looking like this, of numerous different shapes. So within the same organism, you have different cell shapes according to their function. See, when you take the functional aspect, best example, take RBC. RBC are the cells you will find in circulatory system. Suppose assume that RBC cells are not having this structure, but are having structure like this. Assume that they are having structure like nerve cell. Then is it possible for the RBC cells to flow freely in circulatory system? No. Isn't it? Because these are the branched structures which will hinder the free flow of the RBC in blood and circulation. So according to the functional aspect and according to their position, the cell's shape varies. So that's the difference you have to understand over here. Same organism is possessing a biconcave cell shape for RBC. Same organism is possessing branch structure like nerve cell and different other shapes of other cells based on their function and position. Okay. Now the cells, different cells will have different sizes and shapes also. Here I'll explain one word, division of labor. That is enough. When you take a division of labor, that differentiates unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular, a single cell will be there in that organism and it will carry all the life processes in that organism. Best examples are amoeba. I hope you learned something about amoeba in your earlier classes, isn't it? Amoeba will take up the whole thing, like it will intake the food, it will excrete the waste material, it will take in the gases and it will give out the gases. Everything will be done by single cell only in amoeba. It will move through pseudopodia. All these things you would have read in your earlier classes. What does that mean? Unicellular organisms will carry all the functions by a single cell. You won't find a group of cells. You won't find any tissue. Example, bacteria. Bacteria is a single cell. The single cell only will go for reproduction. The single cell will go for nutrition, respiration, excretion. All the life processes will be carried out by single cell. So those are unicellular organisms. Here I have given some examples. Euglena, Paramecium. I hope you would have heard amoeba and of course bacteria also. But Euglena you wouldn't have heard in earlier class, isn't it? Euglena is also a single-celled organism. It is not a plant, not an animal. It's a different organism, but unicellular. That's the point you have to understand. Okay. Then Paramecium. Paramecium is something similar to animal, but not animal in fact. It is related to some different kingdom called Protista. I'll show in other slide what are the different unicellular organisms. There I'll explain in elaborate all the examples. Now here you just understand what does mean by unicellular organism and the division of labor. See, labor means what? Work, isn't it? The workforce we call labor in general term. But when you take the biology word division of labor, the workforce will be divided between different cells. That's called division of labor. See, for example, you take circulation. The RBC cells will be involved in circulation. If you take smooth muscle cells, these are involved in movement, contraction, relaxation. Something like that. You are having the workforce divided between various cells like this. This we call division of labor. You will find only in multicellular organisms. You won't find that in unicellular organism. Why? Because in unicellular organism, the single cell is carrying out all the processes. Best example, amoeba, as of you know. But in multicellular organisms, you will be having many cells. And all the cells are specialized to carry out specific functions. That's the point you have to understand. That is called division of labor. So why I'm insisting on this word division of labor is, division of labor in your ebook they have just given division. You will observe in multicellular organism, you won't find in unicellular organism. That's all. What does mean by division of labor you should know, isn't it? That's why I'm giving the explanation part. This is the concept. This is the good concept. If you understand, you can write a list of differences between unicellular and multicellular organisms. Usually, unicellular organisms are made up of single cell. Multicellular organisms will have many cells. That's the basic difference everyone knows. The best difference is the single cell in unicellular organism will carry out all the functions like in amoeba. Whereas in multicellular organisms, all the cells what are there in the multicellular organisms are specialized to perform specific functions, which we call as division of labor. So, a question can be asked, division of labor is observed in only multicellular organisms, not in unicellular organisms. Clear with the concept? how unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms can be differentiated based on division of labor. What the word division of labor meaning? Here it comes. Different names of unicellular organisms. I'm talking about only unicellular organisms. Some more examples I'll give beside the slide. Okay. Now, when you take unicellular organisms, here all bacteria. So I gave some examples. E. coli. Already gave this word E. coli. Escherichia coli. Writing what E stands for. Escherichia coli. Then streptococcus, this already gave. Then staphylococcus, that also I gave. Huh? So all these are bacteria names. Then halobacteria. So different terms. Halobacteria. These are the different bacteria which are unicellular. We are talking about all unicellular organisms. Then protists. Protists are not plants, not even animals. Neither of that, neither of this. Okay. So they are not plants nor animals. They are a different kingdom. Understand in that way. Example, amoeba. So I hope everyone of you know amoeba. Then euglena. Just now I told euglena is also an unicellular organism. Then paramecium. Shape, image of columns, and the remaining the protists here. And protists are not plants or animals. Okay, they're not plants, they're not animals. So question can be asked whether euglena is a plant or animal. Euglena is not a plant, not an animal. It is a protist. Understand the words. Okay. Then under amoeba, euglena, paramecium are few examples. There are several examples, but here I have given few examples. Then algae. Even algae are also not plants, not animals. Okay. They are a different kind of organisms. Algae. Under algae, chlorella, the first one. Then chlamydomonas, the second one. Then third one, Saccharomyces. Usually we call it as yeast. One more example I'll give, Spirogyra. Useful to answer some questions. Same a plant like protists, just now I told. So under protists we are having various examples. Among them this word they have used, diatoms. Diatoms are something looks like this. On the slide I'm just pointing out. Look, you would have observed if you have a seashore near city, something like this, shell-like things. Okay, especially freshwater seashore. These shell-like things are called diatoms. Okay, and this is the euglena structure. Other than these, I'm going to show you some bacteria-like structures. Some bacteria may survive even at very low temperatures. Okay, so what are such bacteria are called, and the picture of the bacteria I'm going to show you. These are called archaebacteria. These are called archaebacteria. Okay, so archaebacteria are also unicellular. This is the point you have to understand. Okay, under unicellular concept, they have given various names. So all those terms are different and make confused in answering questions. That's why I'm giving list of unicellular organisms. Archaea are the unicellular bacteria. Okay, they are prokaryotes only. They will be found at extreme environments. Extreme environments means it may be salty lakes or hot springs or hydrothermal vents, acidic habitat and all. So these are the bacteria. The white color ones are there, no? Those are the bacteria. I'm circling on the diagram. Okay. So archaea is the word which indicates the unicellular organism. Okay. At the shore, the circled white patches are there, no? Those are the archaea. One of the example of unicellular organism. So I am showing the pictures is so that it will register properly in your mind, the name and the figure. Unicellular organism diatoms. These are the diatoms. So those are also shelled structures. The cell wall is made up of silica. Okay. So these are the shelled structures you will observe at the freshwater seashores. Okay. So the atoms are also unicellular organisms.